So I know the pleats on the filter cover pattern are a little ambiguous. It tells you kind of how many pleats to do and the overall size that your mask should be when you're done. If you're doing just fine, that's great. There's no real specific set dimensions for these pleats, but if you're having trouble and need a little more structure, here's what I'm doing. So I've made myself just a little guide. This is a 7-inch piece of paper, which is basically the height of our mask after we've done our initial seam and done our top stitching and all of those steps. I've made marks on this paper at 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 3/4, 1 1/4, 3/4, 1 1/4, and then the bottom of the mask is 0.5 inches. And again, there's no definitive math that's right for these pleats. This is just what's working for me to get the overall mask size I need. If you want to make a little template like this for yourself, you then just hold it up next to your fabric. And I've used pins to mark these on my fabric since it's a dark color. If you're using a light color, you can definitely just use a little pen to make a mark. I've marked on both sides. And basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold where I have the solid lines down to where I have the dotted lines, and I'm going to press, and those are my pleats. So I take this in my hand holding the pins, try to get my pins to kind of match up. Again, this is not a total science. It's not a problem if they're not perfect. I'm just going to press right there. My iron's still warming up a little bit, so we'll give it a second. Once I do that first one, then I'm just going to move down to the second one. Top pin, fold right down to the next pin. Give it a press there. You can just kind of move your pins to pin that in place once you get a good press on it. So again, repeating with my second set of 2 pins, folding the top pin down to the second one. A little bit of a press there. Moving my pins into the pleat. Lost one of my pins there, so I'll just put it back in place. And then finally the third one, again, folding the top pin down to meet the bottom one. Okay, you've pressed your pleats into place. You're ready to just sew right along the edges to lock them in place. This is making a mask that's about 3 1/4 inches in height. Really, if you're between 3 and 4 inches in height, you're great. Your pleats are going to be just fine, and it's going to be just what everybody needs and fit the face just fine. That's it.